this whole Christmas season, it's just what you said. It's to know that we really are love, you know, that we're peace, that we're hope, that we're light, and that each one of us really get, you know, really get it at our core, that we are unique, that we're sacred, and that we're a blessing. You know, that it's so important to be able to embody that, not just hear it, but to feel it all the way through your body. And by unique, I mean that there's nobody like you. Nobody like you, and there never will be. And when you're gone, the world will miss you. You're unique. And you're sacred because you're divine. There's a piece of huge light of this divine being within you. And you're a blessing because you're a gift. You have gifts, beautiful gifts. But you are a gift to the world, and that's why you're here. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit today, how our gifts and how we can trust them, how we can, our hope and our light. Because I know that our gifts that we give back to the world are in the light that we are. And so our job through this whole journey is to find our light. That's why we're here, is to be able to find the light of God within you. Find the divine. Let it reveal itself until you're shining so brightly because it's in there. It's in there so deeply. See, and then when you realize this light is really there, and if you believe it and you start to embody it, your gifts just come. Your gifts come and everybody knows it, and you are the light of the world. You are everything that you could ever imagine and more. You aren't just this awesome little human anymore. You are this light that shines wherever you go. You know, that's why light is so important, and we're talking about this whole month about bringing in the light. Every tradition celebrates light in some way. We're lighting the candles of Advent in the Christian religion. We'll be lighting the menorah for the holiday festival. Diwali has the light festival, that's the Hindus. You know, every philosopher, every poet, many of them talk about light, their experience of light. And they all say that we are light. I remember reading one of the first things I ever read about us having this light and this power within us was I read, I think it was Leaves of Grass with Walt Whitman, and he talks about, he was giddy with the light. And all of a sudden he had this experience where the light went through him, and he looked and he was at the corner of 4th and Walnut. And he talks about it, and he said he just looks over and he sees everybody, you know, all over, and they're just dancing in light. You know, and he feels like he's connected to him, and he wants to run up to him and hug him and just say, I love you, you're part of me. That's what the light did. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever had that touch where all of a sudden, you know, it's just that you're not separate anymore, you're me, and you just want to hug and love somebody? That's what he's talking about. And all throughout history, there's accounts of this. I remember doing a talk once on cosmic consciousness, and there were different people that have experienced this light through the years. It's an awakening. It's a light that comes through you where you're all of a sudden you're connected to everyone and everything. And it's so powerful. And we all someday will feel it more and more and more. And we get glimpses of it right now. I love reading the old Christian mystics, and I remember reading about Hildegard, what's her name, de Bingham? Hildegard, what's her name?
Von Bingham.
Yeah, anyway, whoever she was. Okay? She was like this awesome being of light, and she was a Catholic nun in the church at that time. You know, they were a little afraid of her because she would have these visions, but everybody was starting to, you know, gather around her, so they sanctioned it. And they actually hired a team of people that would interpret her visions. And what her visions were these incredible light that came through her. And what she said was that everything is light and everything is God's emanation. From a chair to your nose. Not your nose, I just happen to see your nose. everything is this vibrating light, she said. And now guess what? Quantum physics says that we're light. And that in the light, see, it's so weird to think that we are these light beings. But that's what we are. We carry a vibration, and when we're down and depressed and low, our vibration is really low, you know. And when we're up, you know, and when we can feel our light, we add to the world. That's your gift to the world, is being the light you are. And if you're not feeling the light, find it. Listen to awesome music. You know, pray. Kiss a baby. Eat some spires. You know, do something that just, you know, makes you touch the light inside of you. Because that's where the hope of the world lies with this. You know, it's an awareness that will wake us up. That will wake us up, because everything is light, and we are light at the very core of our being. And bright hope is what we're talking about today. And bright hope comes when we are in touch with this incredible field of energy. That's what Deepak Chopra calls it, the field of energy. I think you sent me something on Deepak Chopra, somebody did. And I listened to his life, and that's what he talks about, this field of light, this field of possibility that is us. That we are this field of light, of possibility, of anything, you know? When we're talking about bright hope, I'm not talking about wishful thinking. I wish I had this, or I wish this would happen. You know, that's different. Bright hope, I like what Susan Salzberg, is that right? Sharon Salzberg says about it, yeah. She says that it's an unattached hope, not a fixated hope. That bright hope is the ability to move forward without knowing. It's the ability to just do your life without having to have an outcome and know what that outcome is. That's hard for all of us. We want to know what's going to happen. We want to know we're going to get that church. You know, we want to know this. But to be able to just be open to no matter what and trust the process is what bright hope is about, you know? Sometimes, if we trust enough, we come through it. Actually, we always come through it one way or the other. I was telling Judy this morning that I had this crazy dream, all this stuff that we're going through with this new property, and so our mind goes like this, and if you can't quiet the mind, it comes out in the dreams and things. And I dreamed that I was walking through this beautiful, beautiful garden, and it was just gorgeous. This was just last night, and everything was beautiful. All of a sudden, I was sucked into this big ocean of turbulence. Just this turbulence, and I'm in this little raft, and I'm going, God, I don't think this raft is going to hold me. You know, it's a little bit shaky here. It's not big enough. And so as I'm floating down this ocean and the turbulence going, it's carrying me, and it's carrying me well. And I finally drop to this stream that's real peaceful, and my boat deflates. My boat deflates. Now, I'm not sure what that means, but I think it means that with bright hope, you'll be okay, no matter what. No matter what the outcome, that's what bright hope is about. You know, if you just trust the process enough. We are able to participate in the process of God's light being reflected in the world. I want to talk about that for a moment. Because when you just know inside, you know, that's trust. When you trust what will happen, and you have tapped into this light that I'm talking about, this blessing that we are, we're able to reflect that light back into the world. And that's our gift. That's what we're here for. When we have an awakened heart, we become a doorway to let in more light. See, that's what hope is. That's what I love that little girl. I just want to stand there and let the light just pour. See, and as it pours through me, it pours through you. And each one of you, the same thing. As you leave here, as you go about your business, this light can pour through you into the world. That's why we gather, so that we can get inspired with each other. The more awakened hearts, the more our world will heal. We're creating more and more light right here. Llewellyn Vonley, we're working with his book this time, and he talks about spiritual community. And I'm kind of blown away by what he says, because I was talking to, Judy and I were discussing it, and what he says is that we've always known that communities create an energy field, and that people feel the energy field when they come in. And we know that from people that will come in the books and they're like, wow, you know, this feels, you know, really, really good. And, you know, it feels, I think you said something when you came in, oh, you know, this, it feels good. Because some communities don't feel good, and I think we've created something here that is so awesome that it touches people's heart. But here's what Llewellyn Vonley says: in the light created by spiritual community, we have an easier and a greater access to our own light. See, when you feel like your light is dimming a little bit, and sometimes through the holidays where it's supposed to be bright, you think it's supposed to be all bright and you're supposed to be all happy and stuff, Get the church. Get in a community. Get with other people. That's where your light grows. When you are with people. When you are with each other. When you rub up against another one. You're there. Your light grows. You have greater access to your own light when you are in spiritual community. We need each other to grow. And when we grow, we give back the light. So beginning these holidays, that's my prayer for all of us, is that we're able to give our gift, give our compassion, because that's part of the healing of the world, is to be able to be it, to give our compassion out to the world. You know, there isn't a day that doesn't pass that we can't listen to somebody, we can't nurture someone, or we can't offer hope. We can't offer hope in some way to someone. And that's what I'm talking about here. That's what healing the world is about. That's about sharing ourselves. It's about listening and being compassionate. The truth is, we all have the same light. We all have the same light of God within each and every one of us. It's just that it reveals itself more. Because they know their light. That's the call, is to know your deep expression of God. Know your light so that you can be a unique expression. You can go about your life the way you go about your life, sharing your light. Because you are special. And how much you give back to the world depends on how much that you're receiving yourself. The prayer, open your heart and receive this light, and then use your gifts to reflect it back to the world. The Sufis have a saying, and we've used it here before, that we are the hands and we are the feet of God. This season and always, may we know that we are the hands, we are the feet of God. May we trust, have basic trust that that's the truth.